Welcome to Next Step Advanced Sketching. Thank you for attending today's class. Today we are going to learn how to sketch a photorealistic portrait of a human face. Let's get started. The first thing we want to do is start with the eyes. The eyes are the gateway to the heart. So we will begin with the eyes. And next are the pupils. It's very important to practice symmetry. So we want to make sure the left eye and the right eye are the same size. Next, we add in the coloring to the retinas. And we proceed with what I tell my students is probably most likely the most difficult organ of the body to draw. Not music note, not musical instrument, but we're talking an organ of the body. We're going to draw the nose. This takes a lot of practice. Next, what we want to do is color or sketch the eyebrows. And if we do an upside down M, and then another upside down M, over and over in repetition. Of course, we all have eyelids. Those fortunate enough to have them, I should say. Let's add the eyelids. And of course, eyebrows, which they themselves are the gateway to the soul. The nose is the gateway to the heart, and the eyebrows are the eyelashes are the gateway to the soul. Now, let's move on. Certainly the ears are going to be important. Very important to make sure that the proportion is correct. Make sure the ears are not too small for the size of the head that we have created here. And then next, as my students tend to say, the scalp or the head region. And of course, let's not forget the ear holes, where all the sounds from the environment and from a life come into our ears. And then we all have some shading. And this is where we're going to really start to blend seamlessly into what a photograph would look like. We all have this shading under our eyes. And then we all have some vessels, some arteries and veins running through the eye. Excellent. And we can see that the spacing between the eyes is appropriate, related to the spacing between each ear and each eye. Moving on, today I've selected a person here that we're going to call John, and John has male pattern baldness, so we expect that he might have a couple of hairs here, but overall this is called the tap technique. We're going to add some failing follicles. The folly of failing follicles, such as what you see here. Now, with male pattern baldness, we do expect to see that the sides above the ears are not afflicted with this genetic nuisance. I'm just doing a lot of broad strokes with my sketching pencil. And I'll go ahead and tell you, some more taps. So we're going to do, because the hair doesn't stop there. Now I'll go ahead and tell you, this is my favorite part. Aside from the nose, this has got to be the most difficult. So proportionality is important, and also spacing and orientation. So we're going to do the lips and the mouth. So let's make sure there's a little gentle V right here in the middle. And this is what I like to call the under nose dimple right here. And then we're going to do a less gentle V or more gentle V underneath. And of course we're going to split this in two with our lines. So now we have our lips. Now we're going to continue on. Now depending on how heavy you want your person to be, or how thin, how stocky or how thin, you can make these come out more or less depending on. But today I want you to follow along with me. When you get to that advanced level, then certainly you are welcome to change that up. All people, another name for people, by the way, is the Homo sapien. Homo sapien. There's our chin. Now, another key feature of male pattern baldness is that the back of the hair, so near the neck, is not affected. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to add some hair here. Perhaps this gentleman still likes to wear his hair long in the back, and there's no rule that says he cannot. And this actually adds some realism to our sketching because folks come in all shapes and sizes. All right, then we're going to add our neck. And since this is a man or a male, we're going to add an Adam's apple. Maybe we should have called him Adam, but too late for that. We've already given him a name. And we want to just kind of fill in these hairs. One reason we do this is to give the illusion of we all have billions of hairs in our head, so we don't want to just have one or two. Now up here I've got one or two just because of male pattern baldness. All right, and on our lips, we're going to come back and add these really gentle, light, pressed lines. We all have these on our lips. And you see how realistic that makes those lips. Make sure that your lines are not too dark. That can actually make it look kind of unusual, unrealistic, I should say. All right, next we're going to add some forehead furrowing. We all have forehead muscles, and this is just to give the appearance of a photograph. And I just noticed that I want John to have some more hair here. If he's got so much in the back, he's probably going to have more on the side. The inside of the ears is dark, so we're going to come back. This is going to make it even more real. We're going to color that in. Do you see how that makes it more realistic? There's no light, there's a shadow inside. All right, continuing on. Some people have a little bit of neck stubble, what I've called or heard called before a neck beard. So perhaps John here hasn't shaved in a couple of days, and that's completely normal. When I was a younger man, I must confess I used to court the ladies, and this was a look I would use. I would grow out a little bit with my neck hair, but shave a lot of the rest of the face. But this person right here, we're going to just give him some stubble because he is on vacation. And a lot of photographs you'll see take place with folks on vacation or at work or maybe in the grocery store or solving a mystery. Remember the Hardy Boys? Weren't they lovely? Hardy Boys solved probably more mysteries than I can count on my fingers. All right, now we're just going to add a circle, and this is going to form the T-shirt. The center part of the T-shirt, and we'll add some backwards S's, as you see here. And then we're going to come out, and this is probably one of the most difficult parts for my students to get, but we're actually going to do the T-shirt. We're actually going to do the T-shirt. And little trick of the trade, do an upside down inverted C, and then an upside down non-inverted C, and then a rectangle that's not closed on the left. That will be one arm. Color this in because it's dark, there's no light going in there. And then we're going to do a little upside down C, inverted, and then a short cut. And there's one arm. And I'll scoot this over. And please do not be disappointed or discouraged if you cannot get this on the first try. This does take time, folks. The whole point of today is, I'm going to kind of move, I'm looking at my time. You can message me in the comments if you have questions about how to get the hands just so right. All right, so it looks like we're almost done here. Just looking to see if we've missed anything, and we have, and I apologize. We need some shading. So if I'm going to draw a quick lamp here. I'm embarrassed. Apologies if it's not perfect. And then maybe a little table for the lamp to come on, and then there's light. Okay, well, if the light's coming from this side, it's going to create a shadow closest, just like this. See that? All right, and lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to color this in. So grab your markers, and you'll have about 5 seconds to grab your markers. Okay, let's get started. I've chosen the lovely color of yellow today. You can color your person any color you like, really. The magic of coloring is that it's the final nail, or the final sequence, part of the sequence that really brings your masterpiece to life. Notice I'm not coloring the lips because they are not the same color as the skin, but certainly the hands will be the same. All right, so you don't have to choose a yellow. You can certainly choose whatever color you'd like. Apricot, marigold, teal, beige. I wish there was a color called cream soda. I really like cream soda, and I would drink it more if it didn't have caffeine. It keeps me up at night. Let's do some coloring. And this is not just coloring, this is also outlining. And when I was a child, I used to wonder, at what step does a masterpiece, change from being just a few rough, unrefined, unprecise sketches to something as a photograph. And I think it's a transition that I still haven't been able to fully capture. But I believe we are done, and truth be told, I would wager some money that my students at home would have a hard time discerning John here today, this gentleman we painted, from an actual photograph. So I hope you've learned something today, and please do not be discouraged if you are unable to replicate this to completion, because it does take practice. Please message me in the YouTube chat function if you have any questions or comments, or need further enlightenment on maybe your proportions between your eyes, or the size of the lips or forehead furrows. That is all for today. Thank you for attending this next step, Advanced Sketching Techniques. Have a nice rest of your day.